Hey everyone, it's Aaron with Eirinn'sIntel. I wanted to record a video about schizophrenia today. I actually started to record one and I kind of rambled and didn't really get to the point. So, anyways, what is schizophrenia? Schizophrenia is a psychotic disorder and it has a lot of pieces. It is one of the mental disorders that a lot of people know the name of, but they may not know like the particular parts of the disorder or the levels of complexity that actually compose it. So I'm gonna try to just touch that part. I'm barely gonna scratch the surface really with this video, but hopefully I can hit some of the high points. So if I'm quoting from this book, it's the 8th edition Ronald J. Comer Abnormal Psychology book. So, schizophrenia is a psychotic disorder in which personal, social, occupational functioning deteriorate as a result of strange perceptions, unusual emotions, and motor abnormalities. Schizophrenia is also characterized by psychosis, which was in that definition I just read. And psychosis is essentially a loss of touch with reality. When a person has psychosis, they probably aren't functioning at their normal level that they were supposedly functioning at before they became schizophrenic or before they were diagnosed or started seeing symptoms. And so, what might happen with that is they might have hallucinations. Now, hallucinations can be either tactile, they can be auditory, or they can be visual. Now, tactile hallucinations, take for example a person who does a lot of meth, who smokes a lot of meth. They have what's known as meth bugs. It's a tactile hallucination. Tactile just meaning that you feel it. It's something you can feel with your limbs or with your fingers, or you feel a sensation. They feel the sensation of bugs actually inside of their skin. So that's pretty terrifying. And similarly, a person with schizophrenia might have a tactile hallucination of itching or burning, or they may even have the same kind of bug sensation where they feel as if there's bugs inside of their body, and they will actually go to sometimes the extent of trying to remove the bugs. But of course, the bugs don't really exist, they're a hallucination. So there are no bugs. It's just that the schizophrenic or the person that's smoked all that meth doesn't know that because they're hallucinating. And what also there can be the auditory hallucination in which the person will hear voices. They might hear, a man, they might hear a woman. It could be a voice similar to somebody they know in actual life, but that person might not actually be with them at the time. So if they're alone in the room and they're hearing a voice, and they can't really figure out where it's coming from, that is indicative of, okay, you're having an auditory hallucination. I myself experienced auditory hallucination when I had a manic episode, and I heard a deep voice of a man that I had never met before talk to me about my grandfather. And it was in the room with me. It was not in my head. It was actually in the room. I was watching TV with my mom and stepdad, and the TV was doing some weird, like, electrical charging type sounds, and it wasn't normal. And then I heard the voice, and it talked to me about my grandfather. And then immediately after I heard the voice, I looked over at my mom and stepdad to see if they reacted to the voice, and they didn't. They didn't move. So I was the only one in that room that heard that voice. Nobody else heard it. That was an auditory hallucination. So, what is a visual hallucination? Well, it's kind of implied. It's something you see with your eyes. Now, a good example of that for someone who's schizophrenic might be a giant tarantula. Say they're in the kitchen having breakfast and they see a giant tarantula on the ceiling. Okay, now if they've seen this giant tarantula frequently, it may not be scary to them. But if this is the first time they see the giant tarantula and they've never seen it before, it's probably going to be pretty scary. It'd be like something out of a movie, you know, something that you would see Hollywood make or produce using CGI effects. But a person suffering schizophrenia would actually see, you know, what they perceive to be a physical, flesh and blood giant spider. And we know that, you know, from nature, those don't exist. I mean, we do have giant tarantulas, but they're the size of dinner plates. This spider that I'm painting a picture of for you would be like the size of the ceiling. We're talking like a ginormous spider. But anyways, so those are some of the things schizophrenics may go through, and that's all the time I have right now, so I will continue this in another video. Thanks, guys, and this is Aaron with Eirinn'sIntel.